Thank you to the wing staff and to the deputy and the Commodore, but mostly to the wing staff for being the Commodore interpreters. So Buzz, Coco, Baby, Aaron, Kathy, Tony, and all the folks that I've forgotten. Thank you for taking my calls and maybe making clear some of the things that I didn't understand. Thank you to my fellow COs and XOs who picked up the phone when I called them and gave me advice and listened to me complain, and especially for answering my emails when I was giving you tasking for NHA. So thank you for all of that. I really appreciate it. So thanks Opie and Tackleberry and Stewie and Amelia and Mark and everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks to Chaps, and I'm real sorry we kept you so busy, but I really appreciate your caring. Thank you to the medical folks. We at Whiting don't, in my opinion, have enough flight docs to take care of all the folks that they need to take care of. So thanks to Doc Kraft and Doc Scholes and Doc Hayton and all the docs and foremen for basically being the outstanding maintainers of the people. Thanks to MWR and Fleet and Family and all the folks from the base for supporting our folks and for trying to make their lives just a little bit better. Thanks to, I have to give thanks to the XO because without all the work she did, I wouldn't have had so much success, or we wouldn't have had so much success. So Sparkleberry, it's a great call sign, Sparkleberry. Thank you for enacting my vision for the squadron and for keeping me on track, which was very difficult. And for truly being the very best XO in the Navy. I don't know anyone who can multitask as well as you. I don't know anyone who can go hunt down the department heads and make sure they're doing what they need to do, and then also grow elbows and knees and do all of that. She laughs, so it's okay. I wish you and Kristen the very best, and I'm comforted by the fact that I leave the squadron in your extremely capable hands. And thanks to everyone else who I forgot. So this has been the best tour of my career. I feel like I won a lottery. No doubt I was fortunate, but I owe a lot to those who mentored me along the way. Emmy says I should be getting done soon. But thanks to Admiral Masso and Admiral Chatfield and Captain Franklin and Captain Burke and a bunch of folks who guided me throughout my career. I also just want to mention that I feel very privileged to have come in at the time that I did and to have gotten all the opportunities that I did. And I'm aware of the fact that there were women who went before me and carved out those roles. So I remember I've wanted to fly in the Navy for forever. And so when I was a midshipman at the Naval Academy, I bought a book called Heritage of Wings, okay? It's copyright 1997. But it was brand new when I bought it at the midshipman store at the Naval Academy. And I was reading all about the history of naval aviation. And in there, kind of towards the back, was a picture of Wendy Lawrence in space. And the caption said something like, "The first female naval aviator in space." And just to have that, to have a book that I could buy and read through it and see these feats of amazing women who went before me. These were my role models and the folks that I looked up to. And they were fantastic. They were amazing. Recently, Wendy Lawrence was given the honor of becoming a distinguished graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. So I realized the importance of having strong role models, and it makes me want to be that stronger role model. So I do have a few more thank yous. I should have mentioned this earlier, but Aunt Mindy needed you need to come up. It'll be all right. He's not, it's okay if he gets into a little bit of trouble up here. We're not that formal. So I want to thank Aunt Mindy and Uncle Dixon, who have always been tremendously supportive of me, who have, when I've run into some trial or tribulation in my life or in my career, have answered the phone, have come over and helped us. They helped us with our children. They're helping us now. My aunt has had to like tie my shoes for me when I couldn't, and I was an adult, so that was weird. It wasn't drink induced. That assuages anyone's fears there. They also get particularly the Perfect Attendance Award for attending all of the changes of command. So thank you. And to my beautiful and amazing and wonderful wife, Kathy, who has had to put up with more than most, even in the Navy spouses, the Navy Marine Corps spouses have to put up with quite a bit. She had to put up with more than most. First of all, she had to put up with me, and in the first half of our relationship, she had to put up with some interesting policies. So she was my secret girlfriend and fiance for 6 years. That can be hard, but it was a challenging 6 years. We each did a deployment during that time. So, I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore. And then we've been married for about 6 years. Hopefully that hasn't seemed quite as long. She's been by my side, she's been my partner. She's been the real reason I've had any success. She's my trusted advisor. We used to have XO meetings when we were both like 4th Law Enforcement Battalion, and I was the XO of HT8, so we had XO meetings. She's the leader I most look up to. She is doing the very best job raising our 2 beautiful children, Emmy and Tommy, who, by the way, are fantastic. If they weren't so amazing, I don't know if I'd had all the success that I did. So in the near future, you're going to take on the role of the single parent while I'm on deployment. So I just want to give you something in advance. So we're going to have discussions, and we're going to have some disagreements on things maybe. And so I give this to you in advance. You are right, and I love you. All right, I've had many roles and titles in my career in the Navy so far. I've been in the Navy for 19 years. And I've been called all kinds of things: midshipman, student naval aviator, division officer, skeds writer, 2P aircraft commander, aide, shooter, officer in charge, safety officer, maintenance officer, assistant deputy director for operations, which, to be honest with you, is assistant to the deputy director for operations, and XO. But the role and the titles that the 2 roles and the 2 titles that I most take to heart and most make my heart sing are skipper and mom. And I got those 2 here at HT8. So thanks.
The wardrobe gifts will now be presented to Cmdr Parker by members of the board.
I will now read my orders. Buper's order number 0089, when directed by reporting senior, detach and proceed to USS Bataan and report as air boss.
Commander Kaman will now read her.
I will now read my orders. When directed by reporting senior, report for assignment to commanding officer, Helicopter Training Squadron 8 as her relief.
Deliver the squadron colors to the commanding officer. Military members, please rise for the exchange of colors. Delivering the colors to the commanding officer is the new command chief, Chief Hand. Today's ceremony signifies the transfer of and continuity of command. This ceremony is a time-honored Navy and Marine Corps tradition. As the colors are passed, Commander Kaman has relieved Commander Parker and assumes total authority over and full responsibility for Helicopter Training Squadron 8. Commander Parker and Commander Kaman will now be joined by Colonel Pavelko, Deputy Commodore Training Number 5.
Sir, I've been properly relieved as the commanding officer of Helicopter Training Squadron 8.
Sir, I assume command of Helicopter Training Squadron 8.
Mr. Christian Gaiman will now pin the Command Ashore device on Commander Kaman. In the United States Navy, the Command Ashore insignia is a gold medal, three-pronged trident device, with the trident centered on a elliptically shaped laurel wreath. The badge is a breast insignia that recognizes the responsibilities and importance of Command Ashore. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Kaman, the 61st Commanding Officer of Helicopter Training Squadron 8.
Good afternoon, admirals, captains, and colonels, and distinguished guests. I am so happy and proud to be here, standing in front of our country's flag in the United States of America with my fellow service members and citizens. I figured I'd start out with a quick sea story, as we say in the Navy. A few years back, in about 2010, so some of you may remember this, a fellow instructor was flying with a student on a basic instrument flight. We teach a maneuver called unusual attitude recovery. We brief that the student will close his or her eyes and that the instructor will fly the aircraft into an unusual attitude, such as nose high and right wing down, for example. Then the student opens his or her eyes and recovers the aircraft. It prepares students to be able to recover from vertigo or spatial disorientation, and it also ensures they keep a good scan on their instruments. So on this particular day, the instructor put the aircraft in an unusual attitude and told the student to recover. Gosh, he was just all over the place, making the condition worse instead of making it better and getting the aircraft back to straight and level. My friend said, level the wings, level the nose, center the ball. Are you keeping your eyes moving? Are you feeling okay? The student replied, well, ma'am, it's kind of hard to fly with my eyes closed. You never told me to open them. So here's to hoping that all of our pilots always fly with their eyes open. For my remarks, I'd first like to highlight the dedicated service of our spouses, families, colleagues, and friends who support us. To begin, I will thank my husband, Christian. He loves our squadron, our Navy, and our country just as much as I do. He immigrated here from Cameroon, Africa, when he was a teenager, and after a really long time, he finally became a citizen in 2015. Sometimes I'll say to him, "You're my handsome African-American prince," and he'll defiantly retort, "I am not African-American, I am an American." He is so proud to positively contribute to our country, and I couldn't be more proud of him. In a few short months, our little form flight, or our 2 babies, will arrive, and I know he'll be the best dad ever, teaching them to be flag-waving patriots as well. My mother Lois is here. She is the definition of a humble servant. Always shying away from spotlight, she serves her community and our family quietly, but with fierce dedication, purpose, and loyalty. The babies and I had a craving, and I'll never get beyond saying that I'm eating for 3. I'll use that excuse as long as I can. So the other day, the babies and I had a craving for a raspberry muffin from Perkins, and there aren't any Perkins in this area. So my mom lugged a box of raspberry muffins from Perkins with her on the airplane from Wisconsin, amongst a host of other things she brought as well. She always puts everyone else's desires and needs above herself, and she's so insightful too. I learn something from her during every conversation we have. Her sister, my aunt and godmother, Annie, traveled here also. Annie has always treated my brother and me just as good as she treats her own children. And she always manages to arrange her schedule to attend every major milestone in my life also. She sets the example as a thoughtful, caring, and very talented person. She also lugged food across the country for us this week. TSA had a field day with the 170 caramels in her luggage and the flavored sugar and baking ingredients she brought to make the dessert for tonight. Thank you both. I am so honored that Admiral Braun traveled from Washington State to join us. I could not have been more fortunate to have been her aide for over 2 years and to observe first-class leadership in action. She led the 60,000 men and women in the Navy Reserve with resolute determination, selfless spirit, and wise decision-making that bettered everybody across the service. Importantly, she taught me the lesson that we're all on the same team, the active component and the reserve component. I am a full-time support officer, an active duty reservist, if you will. And while today is a huge milestone for the Reserve Force, since it's the first time that any of the squadrons on this base or in this air wing have had a full-time support officer as the commanding officer, it really should be transparent because we are all working toward the same goals of defending our country and preserving our freedom. Thank you, Admiral Braun, for continuing to guide and mentor me and for being a family for Christian and me also. I would love to recognize and thank everybody else by name. But alas, I hear some stomachs growling because I know it's almost lunchtime, so I won't be able to do that. But to the other flags, to our local leadership, including Colonel Pavelko, to my special friends who traveled from near and far to be here, to all my mentors and colleagues across all my tours. I think there's about 5 of my former COs here today, as well as at least 1, if not more, of my former on-wings. To our loving church family, there's so many members of our church here today, and to Christian's wonderful colleagues who came, I send a huge thank you to all of you who selflessly support us. I would like to pass along my deep appreciation and gratitude for Skipper Parker's steadfast leadership of the command over the last 14 months. First, some of you may have noticed that we're both women. You may or may not notice that that's a little bit unusual. As far as we know, we are the first female-female CO XO team in the history of naval aviation. I highlight that for a specific reason. We want to be known for our leadership, for our piloting abilities, for our knowledge, our experience, our grit, not our gender. However, increasing the recruitment and retention of talented sailors and officers, specifically those of diverse backgrounds, is a strategic imperative in the Navy. We mentor and serve as role models to all the members of our command, yet we understand that together, we were in a very unique position to make a positive impact to recruitment and retention goals. I am so glad that we had the opportunity to do that together. As most of you know, Skipper Parker is a big Star Trek fan, and in particular, a big fan of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, the captain of the USS Enterprise starship. I remember that on July 9th of last year, she shared with me the following. Jean-Luc Picard was thoughtful and decisive without being brass. I want to be that. Skipper, goal achieved. Not only were you always thoughtful and decisive, but you taught all of us how to be critical thinkers and decision makers. We've all learned so much from you. Under your leadership, you made HT8 and all the 8-ballers not just a little bit better, but a lot better. I look up to Skipper Parker foremost as a leader, but she and her wife, Kathy, have also been amazing friends to Christian and me. Thank you both, and best wishes as you continue your service to our Navy. Christian and I, along with all squadron members, welcome Commander O'Neill, Sarah, Ellie, Christian, and Bennett to the 8-ball family. He's already brought new ideas to the table, and I look forward to serving alongside him as we carry out our mission. Commander O'Neill and I are humbled and excited to work with the entire 8-ball family, all the sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, allied nation officers, civilian staff, and everybody's family members. We would like you to know that we are committed to supporting all of you, and we are also committed to our mission of forging the best naval aviators and mentoring world-class officers. Our students are the reason why our squadron exists. They are amazing folks who have raised their hands, repeated the oath, and committed the next several years of their life to service to their country. We often hear disparaging comments about millennials and their supposed inability to function in the world, but the generation that I see coming through our squadron doors absolutely debunk that rumor. We offer a very challenging program, mentally and physically, and they meet and exceed the standards we set. They excel, and they go on to excel in fleet squadrons and fly large gray or orange and white aircraft that are full of complicated weapon systems and mission systems. Students, I know that you have the mental armor that is required to be ready for the great power competition that our country is preparing for. And you have the resilience to succeed in the toughest of conditions while fighting a war and saving lives. You are not anonymous flight students. You are 8-baller flight students. You are the best of the best. Our students and our instructors are our people. people who have voluntarily joined the military to become part of something larger than themselves. Navy leadership recognizes that people are our most important asset, the lifeblood of our service. You may have seen in the news recently that the President nominated the current Vice Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Moran, to become our next Chief of Naval Operations, our top Navy leader. I'd like to share with you his view on our people. Our ability to own the fight of the future rests in the power of our amazing people. To build the Navy of tomorrow, to achieve that ready, fast, and capable Navy, we have to challenge ourselves to think differently, placing our mission, our future, and our purpose as American sailors above all else. Without young men and women, just like our students and instructors, our ships and aircraft cannot operate. Our responsibility to the nation and to each other is to develop the character and the competence of the next generation of leaders and warfighters. Know that HT8 will do everything within our power to give these young officers the training, the tools, and the leadership that they need. Instructors, I expect you to inspire our students through your own personal example of high character and high competence. We're about training warfighting aviators, but we're also about developing leaders, and the future generation is ready. Our students and our instructors really are a part of something larger than themselves, supporting our Navy and strengthening the fabric of our fleet. I am proud to watch their contributions. They embody the hope we all share for our country's future. In closing, I have a great deal of gratitude for everything that the Navy has given me and taught me. And I am honored that my senior leaders have trust and confidence in my ability to lead the men and women in my charge. I accept this extraordinary responsibility, and I owe it all to our squadron members and to the nation to give it my all and to do my best as the commanding officer. I cherish the opportunity to lead the next generation of aviators who will fly, fight, lead, and win. Thank you. XO, all standing orders, regulations, and instructions remain in effect. Take charge and carry out the plan of the day.
All right, man. Will the guests please rise for the benediction?
Please join me in prayer. Bless us, O Lord, before we go our separate ways. Look upon all those gathered here with pride and satisfaction. Guide us all in faithful service as we defend this great nation, both in war and in peacetime. As we congratulate Cmdr Parker, I pray a blessing over Kathy and their children Tommy and Emmy. Protect them and provide for them as Cmdr Parker sets off for Norfolk. Watch over her family and give Kathy peace and support. Bless Cmdr Kaman with wisdom, vision, and a unifying spirit as she takes command of HT8. Bless her, Christian, and their new family. May they all have good health and peace. May these two leaders inspire us in the future of naval aviation. Lastly, I pray for our warfighters, those who at this very moment stand on the tip of the spear. Protect them. May they always be ready. Guide our nation's leaders. May they lead this nation with wisdom, integrity, and honor. Bless every family here with abundant gifts of faith, hope, and love. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes